Hey there everybody, Destroyer X here, and welcome to part 4 of Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog. We are now in Labyrinth Zone, which is by far my least favorite zone in the entire game. And the reason why is because of the water physics in the level. Well, you have to understand that the water physics in this zone, well, it's true to real life. Sonic cannot... Well, for one, Sonic does not know how to swim. He has never learned how to swim. And in all of the Sonic games, he still cannot swim. So, that's one thing. Another thing is the fact that Sonic moves incredibly sluggish while he's underwater. Yeah. He can't run. Let's just say that. He can't run. His jump is impeded by the fact that water physics take over. And... there are plenty of spikes. There's quite a few underwater robots to contend with. And, well, whenever you're underwater, obviously water physics go into effect and Sonic cannot breathe underwater. So basically what will happen is if you stay underwater for a particular amount of time, it says here on the wiki, it's 18 seconds in... It's 18 seconds. What will happen is, at 5 seconds in, it's going to be, you're going to hear a warning bell. 10 seconds in, you're going to hear a warning bell. And 15 seconds in, you're going to hear a warning bell. And then after that, you're going to start hearing and seeing a countdown on the screen that starts with 5 and goes all the way down to, well, you have to basically make sure you can either find some way of taking a breath or get to the surface before your time runs out. So how does that happen? Well, basically, underwater there's going to be some air bubbles which you'll see every so often. And what you'll want to do is once you see the biggest air bubble, you'll want to, like what you'll see right there, you'll want to, of course, breathe it in. Because if you do not, because that's the thing that's going to keep you alive in the zone. Oh my, oh my. Water physics is something that has made it into many Sonic games. It's in Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Yeah, it's persistent in the Sega Game Gear titles. So yeah, the most recent titles, you don't really see water physics all that much. Well, actually, you do see water... It really depends on the title, for the most part. In the second Japanese revision of Sonic the Hedgehog, there's actually a ripple effect that would look a lot better than what you're seeing in the video. The reason being is that the progressive scan nature of computers, they don't enable this lovely little effect to be shown very well. So, yeah, I do apologize about that. However, if you're viewing it on a TV, which TVs like HD TVs, ED TVs, SD TVs, you'll be able to see the effect complete without any kind of mess-ups, especially because of the fact that SD, ED, and HD TVs, they can render the game without any problems. It's just that progressive scan screens, like computer monitors, cannot. So yeah, that sucks. So yeah, those are some of the things you're gonna need to look out for. I really don't like this zone at all. Ooh, 10,000 points. Yeah, I really don't like this zone at all, in all honesty. Because with all the spikes that are around, it makes it even harder to try and maintain your rings. But yeah, press on we must. We only have 5 Chaos Emeralds. We need 6 to see the good ending of the game, so we must press on. One of the things, occasionally, of course, you'll have platforms in the Labyrinth Zone that will suddenly rise up once you touch them. Just make sure you're not crushed by anything, because sometimes they have those platforms have a tendency to go to things like spikes or the ceiling, and you don't want to get crushed. So yeah. Oh boy, we gotta watch out for spikes, we gotta watch out for ball and chains. Oh, there are plenty of and of course we gotta make sure we don't drown. Like I'm about ready to do right now. It can be pretty nerve-wracking at times, especially if you're not anywhere near some air bubble pockets. So, yeah. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, well, I'm wondering to myself, why don't I just upload my master file? Well, here's the thing, this is not the master file, obviously. The master file itself, I looked at the master video, and it was actually able to render things quite nicely. However, obviously when I get it into an editing program like Avid Studio, try as I might, I can't make sure you see that little effect, and I think it's due to the progressive scan nature of the program. I don't know. Either which way, you can't see it, and I do apologize. Oh well, it's okay. One of the things I do love, one of the things I do love about this stage, it's short. I mean, not short. I mean, we only go through the water section. Oh, I can't even say that, because we go through another water section. After we get through Labyrinth Zone, we still go through another water section later on in the game. And that's one of the things I do not like. The water physics in this stage makes it hard to actually avoid those stupid spears that come from the ceiling. Oh well, not much else we can do. Well, at least they made Sonic as close to realistic as possible when it comes to water physics. And of course, we do every so often in the Labyrinth Zone, every so often we encounter slow down, where there's too many sprites. Either there's too many sprites on the screen at once that can cause it to slow down, or there's there's a lot of either that or there's a lot of moving elements in the screen. Oh, and I got crushed. And there's a lot of moving elements in the screen that cause slow down. And I lose another life. You see, kids, this is why we make sure we collect a lot of lives early in the game. And I lose another life again. Let's try this again. Hopefully we don't lose another life, otherwise this is going to be embarrassing. There we go. The Labyrinth Zone was actually featured in an episode of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. It was actually featured in the episode Submerge Sonic. Oh, and by the way, in case you haven't realized it, the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is probably, up until Sonic X, is the closest adaptation to the video games this will get as far as cartoons and anime is concerned. But yeah, just in case people didn't know that, but I'm pretty sure that's common knowledge. One thing I will admit though is that I like the zone that we're going to be going to after this is a lot better, lot better than Labyrinth Zone. I'm pretty sure there are some people who love Labyrinth Zone. I am not one of them. I like the music though, but beyond that, I do not like the zone at all. I hate water physics with a passion. But that's 2 acts down and 1 more to go, so all we have to do now is go through Act 3. Now, Act 3 of Labyrinth Zone, after you get through this initial part here, it starts off as a maze. Well, this isn't a maze, it's more of an infinite loop. So you have to actually go over here to hit this switch. And this lovely little area opens up there, and you just want to make sure that you well, get through it, and go from there. Pretty much do what I'm doing in the video, and that's how you would get out of that infinite loop. Yes, that part would loop infinitely if you didn't do that, if you didn't figure out the puzzle. Infinite loop, a la Super Mario Brothers. In some of the later World 4 castles. Well, not World 4. It's like World. I don't know. Some of the World level. I mean, some of the later level 4, whatever. Anyway, I'm about ready to drown, so I need to get to the surface or get an air bubble in there quickly. Here we go. Now, I know it is possible. There are some gamers, lots of gamers out there that can actually keep their rings in the Labyrinth Zone in Acts 1 and 2, and for that, y'all are better gamers than I am, because I can't do it. It is ridiculously hard for me to do it in the Labyrinth Zone, which is why I don't care for the Labyrinth Zone. Get to that switch. There we go. See, as I mentioned, it's hard to keep my rings here. But at least there are some points in this level in which we can get some invincibility to make life a little bit easier. And of course the side start markers do help out as well. I just cannot wait to get out of this underwater section! But at least the barrier will help us out a little bit. We just don't want to drown, because that would suck. Oh man, oh man, oh man, I do not like water physics! It'd be so much easier if Sonic knew how to swim. Keep doing what I'm doing and you'll do just fine. This part isn't a loop, so don't worry about it. Oh, the music is just so calm. That's the best part about this zone, because the rest of the zone sucks. I really hate this zone. And I seem to be having quite a bit of trouble trying to get onto that cork. There we go. And of course, pretty soon we're going to be engaging Dr. Eggman once again. We just have to get up to the top here. And just keep on going. And there's Eggman. Now, what Eggman is doing, he is fleeing from us. Don't bother trying to hit him. You can actually get 8 hits off of him. I've done it a few times, but what you want to do, and in all actuality, is get to the top of this shaft. And of course, you're gonna have fireballs shooting at you. You're gonna have spears wanting to skewer you, and you want to do this before you run out of air as well. So it's just a race to the top before you run out of air. But with patience and just keep calm and you're fine. And with that, Labyrinth Zone is finally done, thank goodness. So tune in next time for part 5 where we tackle the Starlight Zone, which is a fun zone. You'll get to see it next. So until next time everybody, ciao for now. Bye.